We're here at the Giant Periwinkle, and it's one of the stops on the Baardskeerdesbos Art Walk. We've been coming for the last 4 years, and it's become one of our annual outings on a Sunday, just to come and check out all the art in Baardskeerdesbos. Now, Baardskeerdesbos isn't even a little town. I think you could probably call it a village or a hamlet, but it's got a thriving art scene, and it kind of comes alive, the little town, during the art festival. But it's lovely a place to come, and we're going to have a look at the art and then go to the next venue. So come along, let's go. So we're here at the Giant Periwinkle with the Roy Zetisky exhibition, and there's actually an app you can download which then makes the images come alive. I don't know if you can see that there. That is so cool. Zoom in a bit, you'll add to the way. And look at that. That is so cool. Way to the Num Forest, which is Karli van der Merwe's gallery, and let's go and see what there is to see here in the forest on the Baardskeerdesbos Wine Route. We're with Karli van der Merwe in your magical little forest. Tell us about the inspiration behind it and just how it came about.
Well, I've called this Num Forest, and I got this beautiful piece of land in 2020, so just before COVID. And at the time we were eating very delicious food to stay healthy, and so we're going So it's a sign of like yum yum, but it's Num is also the Bushman word for Kundalini energy.
Oh, right.
And there's also the Num, the delicious Num indigenous plant with the beautiful red berries. So it has all those associations. So it's a place that really nourishes me, even though it is a pine forest and it is an alien forest, but slowly clearing up the forest and then planting other trees
in there,
and they're starting to grow a bit, and I just love exhibiting here, because for me the works really come alive in the space, and it's constantly shifting and changing, and the light is changing. I was
going to say, with the light, every time I saw one in the sunshine and one in the shadows.
Yes, so like now this one's getting a bit of light here, so and also the works made in the area, so there's a synergy and an inspiration that comes from living here. So yes, this is just like a dream come true for me.
Fabulous. It's so
and
amazing.
I have a wonderful partner who's also exhibiting in the forest together with me. So it's also a very magical co-creation. And when I invited him to exhibit, I said to him, well, you can come and exhibit in the gallery, but you've got to make the gallery.
Not too much to ask, is it?
Yes.
Thanks, Karli. It's just incredible. It's got such an energy and such a lovely feel about it. So, it's just really cool.
Thank you. And thank you for coming and visiting.
Pleasure. This is Quentin Green, artist, or the co-host of the Pixie in the Forest.
That's correct.
Tell us about your art here, Quentin.
Well, I'm a landscaper by trade, as it were, and I'm an artist by training. And I've tried to find a bridge between my landscaping and my art, which also manifests as land art predominantly. And so through those two disciplines, I found that I like making sculptural work from found objects, mostly that I received from the landscape, either where I was doing the land art or from the gardening when I was working. So you'll notice in all my work here, there's elements which refer back to those places. And then my interest is a dialogue between, let's say, a man-made constructive landscape and a natural landscape, and the tension and the dialogue that exists in those spaces. So I often include elements which refer back to that aspect as well. And then there's a kind of a personal, autobiographical aspect to my work as well, which refers back to my own personal experience in this life on this planet, and what I've picked up there. For example, one of my pieces is 34 years old.
Wow, okay.
Started in 1992 as a meditation to save me from a rather tense situation, and I picked up this piece of wood, started carving it, and I then began to get a concept which sat with it for all this time. And then when Karli invited me to be a guest artist, I realized I had to bring it to completion. And so Mr. Green was born. And when I told my daughter I finished that work, she said, "Yeah, that was around for all these years." You know, she's an adult now, and she watched it staying the same while she was getting older.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's complete.
Lovely. We'll have to go and have a look at that.
And then in the background, you can hear recordings that I've made as a sound artist, because I make instruments and I use them in the landscape to create sound art. And I've got my instruments present for anybody that wants to have a look.
I suppose actually recordings playing in the forest. It's like a child or sort of a musical wind instrument. Oh, that's nice.
And so I'm very pleased to be here, and I've now inspired to take the next step.
And what's that going to be?
Well, you'll have to come and see.
We definitely will. Thanks, Quentin.
You're welcome. Thank you, Howard.
So this is Mr. Tutu, and he's surrounded by 92 rocks, depicting the years that he lived to, as well as all of his minions. And Quentin says that Tutu was the rock, so there's the big main rock in the middle. So we're at the Baardskeerdesbos Community Centre here with Louise Dorval, and we've got an amazing exhibition on lions and lion hunting. So tell us a bit about it, please.
In South Africa, we've got a very widespread captive lion breeding industry that involves other predators as well. We have about 8,000 captive lions.
As many as that, sure.
Yes, and if we compare that to the number of wild lions in South Africa, which is approximately 3, so we're looking at nearly 3 times the number of lions in captivity compared to what we have in the wilds. So it's a massive difference. And these animals are pure commercial purposes, pure exploitation at every stage of their life cycle. So from the time they're born right through to the time that they're killed.
Yeah, because I see some of the photographs here, and there's the when they're babies, they're there for the cuddles, and then they grow.
Exactly.
And they get shot.
Yes. Yeah. So the babies are removed from the mother very early on, sometimes hours to days after birth. That brings the mother back into estrus, so then she can actually have another litter. In the wild, a mother would probably have 1 litter every 2 years. In captivity, she can have 4 to 5 litters in comparison. So they become like breeding machines, which is obviously physically and mentally
just draining for them.
Absolutely draining. And then the little cubbies are then hand raised. Often it involves paying volunteers from overseas that believe that they're doing something really good, because they're helping these poor orphans or these little babies that are rejected by their mothers, and that they're going to be released back in the wilds. And those are all myths that these volunteers are being told as well, which is, to me, is totally unethical, because you are taking somebody's money, you're bringing them here under the pretense to do something really good.
Yeah, and then obviously also all the canned hunting.
That is what they're groomed for, right? They're being bred for
American
a purpose.
Hunters,
I
believe
and it's purely for the trophy, the thrill of the hunt, and then having that trophy on the wall.
Not even the hunt, because they're there to be shot. But anyway,
it's not even a real hunt.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So the pictures are really heart-wrenching, and they're really sad to see what is actually going on. And tell us about some of the art around that.
Yes, so the idea as part of the art route was to have a awareness-raising exhibition on the industry, but then balance that out with the sort of the happy wildlife art. And as you can see, all the other wildlife is set in wild settings where these animals should be living and where they should be sort of enjoyed, whether that is for people want to take photographs or the enjoyment or for art, whatever purpose that is, but that is where these animals belong. So it's kind of balancing, because as you say, it's hard to see some of the images.
Yeah, but some of the art is beautiful. I'll take a look around and show
It
people
is,
that.
and we've got quite a lot of very local artists from Baardskeerdesbos. And we've got some artists from further afield. There's quite a lot of Linda Bodde's work, and she's from the Kelders. So again, also not a million miles away. We've got some Tertius van Dijk from Hermanus. So there's quite a sort of a range of different artists. We've got Claire Gunn, who's done some paintings here from Baardskeerdesbos. We've got some Sue Fingerhoods as well, which is Baardskeerdesbos. We've got Neil Jonker work here.
Oh, we're going to go and pop in and say hello to Neil.
Yes, and you should enjoy the pizzas there as well. So yeah, we've got a real mixture of different wildlife art here.
Cool.
It's the first time that we've done this at the Art Route, and we've had a really lot, even though it's a very difficult topic for people, but very positive feedback. Because people have been enjoying, maybe enjoying is not quite the right word, but sort of that engagement, a very different type of engagement than the rest of the art. So so far we've had a really very good response.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. It's
been great. And thank you so much for coming and supporting us, and I hope you enjoyed the painted wolf wine as well.
We did, thank you. Where did I put it now?
Thank you.
Much. So when it comes to the Baardskeerdesbos art scene, no one's name shouts louder than Mr. Neil Jonker. Neil, what have you been working on lately?
I've been painting the burnt landscape. As you know, burnt all the way from Pearly Beach to Stanford. So I go out and I stand outside. These are watercolors. We call it gouache. It's watercolor with chalk in the tube.
Okay.
And then I drew on top of it with charcoal, which talks a little bit about the fire.
Vibe,
yeah. I was just comparing it to a painting I did at the same place 10 years ago, and then I realized it's 17 years ago.
Wow.
So I've been painting the landscape around here for a while, and watching it change, realizing how we are a part of the landscape is just the practice that I do. I'm actually a sculptor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's where we got to know you from.
But being outside doesn't feel like such a job, as it were. And
have you been working on any new sculptures?
I have.
Okay. I think I did see those,
Yeah, I've been working with clay and also reworking them in drawings. And the forms that came out were fish-like forms. And so I've been adding them into drawings with added environments like seascapes. And I'm just going intuitively and seeing what comes out.
As you do, yeah. Cheers, Neil. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Pleasure. I have to say that some of the paintings that appealed to me the most were that of Karan Lee at the gallery on 31 Main Road. It was her first exhibition, and her paintings were just stunning. The faces, the colours, the faces within faces. I really liked your work, Karan, and I'm sorry I didn't get to chat to you on camera. So all this art viewing is hard work and hungry work, and here we've come to Premium Main and about to dive into their famous peri peri chicken. See you soon. Check me in the next video. I'm Howard Schenker, Agent 7200 here in Baardskeerdesbos.